Welcome in, everybody. I don't know if I'm live yet. Hope everybody's having a good weekend. I see James is here. Pops is here. Says I'm live. All right. Hope everybody's had a good weekend. Had a good couple days this week already. Excuse me. Just trying to get some stuff ready for the getting ready for. Got the rod run coming on this week, and got the convention coming up in a week and a half, 2 weeks. So I'm just trying to get some stuff ready for all that. I'm trying to get the chat up here so it's easier for me to see on my phone. It seems like it goes a little quicker. So anyway, I hope everybody's doing good. Anything in particular y'all want to talk about? I've got the list that we talked about last week. We'll let a couple people get in here, and been getting some stuff together. Got a few more prototypes together. I got the Red Barons, some of those down, so we can go over some of those. I know that was something we talked about last week. And some red lines that I had still carded or half carded. I got a couple more somewhere. I'm not 100% sure where they are. And been trying to go through and get a list of stuff that I'm looking for the convention this week, and stuff that I need to upgrade if I happen to come across it. But anyway, so hopefully y'all are finding some good stuff or looking for some good stuff, and or certain things y'all are hunting for. So I've been going through some prototypes, and I found a couple that I may be trading around while I'm there at the convention. Um, I think we talked about the Volkswagen dragster last week, and I've got a couple other ones that I'm thinking about trading around. I got a '62 Chevy that I might. Like Chris, Easy Pickens is in the house. What's up, Chris? If there's anything y'all want to specifically talk about, y'all let me know. Like I said, I'm just we'll try to go through some of these. We talked about somebody was asking about the Nitty Gritty Kitty and Aqua last week. I did get a couple of them down. They're both in the blue family. I'm not 100% sure. I believe this one's more of a blue, and and this one may be more of a, and this one may be a greenish blue, but it may be that the aqua color he was talking about. It's kind of crazy the way that the number faded on the door of that one, but it's pretty cool piece there. Anyway, I got those together. And I got some kid paint. This is a kid paint of the Nitty Gritty Kitty. As good a shape as the wheels are in, I'd say this thing in the base, it probably was a real nice car before they painted it up, but pretty wild. And then I've got the prototype to take with me of the Nitty Gritty Kitty also. And I've got the paperwork for this. The designer that was making these and made most of these pieces that are back here, he sent me a letter of what they were doing with each one. And on this Nitty Gritty Kitty, they said they were looking like at a Mad Max type of deal. That's why they painted it brown, and they kind of chipped it all up and stuff. They were just kind of seeing if they liked that. So, but anyway, I got some more kid paint stuff too. This is one of my favorite. Well, we call it kid paint. Somebody put stickers on it basically back in the day. And they had a good time with it. I just thought that was pretty cool. And then somebody put some stripes on that one there. on that custom T-bird there. Somebody put the 24 numbers on the side of the door. Pretty cool. I know that was something that we had talked about, some kid paint. I'll show y'all my, this is a kid paint, but this one used to be pink. You can kind of see it right there from the pillar. And, you know, to find one of these in pink is pretty expensive. So that's my pink one, but somebody painted it blue. As you can see the blue wheels and got blue up under it. And I don't know what they ended up doing, maybe scraping the paint off, but I just think it's awesome. So you know, it's part of the kid paint collection there. So I ended up going through those. I pulled the prototype to this piece I'd picked up. This is a Powers Devil piece, and then this was the prototype I'd bought years ago from a guy. And I got this one, just the body of one, I mean the base of one of these, and then this truck as the prototype, and then this is what they ended up for production piece. It's a little bit darker blue, and of course there's no tampos or nothing on this one. So kind of neat, something to take to show. A lot of people may not have seen that prototype for the show, so decided to bring it out. But if y'all got anything y'all want to talk about, just throw it in the chat and I'll get to it. What's up, Randy? Just going over some red line pieces and some prototype stuff to go to the convention. The red line pieces won't, but the prototypes will. And here's I found my cut cards going through some stuff. This is a Light My Firebird. This is an original Light My Firebird, but they've cut the box up and then cut across the top. So, but I know it's begging to be open, but it's just hard for me to open original red lines. I know it's pretty easy for a lot of people to do when they're in this shape, but it's not every day that I find a lot of them, and I've found them over the years. There's your McLaren in orange there. I really want to open that one too, but I just can't. And then this one is the Lola. And you can see even in the package there how toned that one got without even nobody touching it. So, but they're in cut cards or whatever, but you know, they're only in the package like that once. And then this was the arrow that I was talking about last week. Some of y'all may have seen it, but it's the peeping bomb there. And if you'll look at the back window, back wheel right there, it got hung between the bodies whenever they were putting it together. So I decided I ended up buying it because the guy was about to open it just so he could try to fix that wheel. But I wanted it in the package like that. Yeah, Chris, I do like them, and even in the cut cards like that. You don't see them a lot. Well, you go to the convention, you'll see quite a few, and then of course some of the shows. But they got so pricey now that I just can't justify buying them for the prices they're asking. I did bring down the Red Barons to go through those too. I don't want to go through everything too quick, but I'll go through the evolution of Red Barons. So this would have been the first release Red Baron. I don't know if y'all can see that or not, but you can see that it has the spike on the helmet here, and it's got both cap wheels on it, and the wheels have the ribbed edges on them, and it's a metal flake paint job there on it. Well, you know, Spectre Flame on that one. This one's just a slightly different color on the red. Then in 73, you know, the 73 ones, they come out, and the 73 ones, you can tell when their first runs had the solid back wheel, and it had a open whole front wheel, and then the red was an enamel color at that point. And you can see that was an early release 73. And then toward the end of the runs, they had the wheels like this, the red lines with the holes in the front and the back. You can see the axles holes. So that was the evolution into from the red lines. Then they went into, of course, the Blackwall version there. And the Blackwall version is a rounded off top. And so does the 73 version. I should have went over that a little better. The 73 and later versions, they took you can see the post sticking up there on that one. And they went to a rounded post there on that. Then they went into the Blackwalls, which was an enamel. And I even pulled out, this is an Era Blackwall. You can see the back wheel there didn't get the chrome right. So that's pretty cool. And then I couldn't find the 30th anniversary version of these because a lot of people are finding the 30th and they had the white interior. But I did find a bunch of my 30th anniversary of the Beatnik Bandits, so you can kind of tell. They'll say commemorative, they'll say the anniversary right there on the base on those. So if you come across the Red Baron with white interior, 99.999% of the time it's going to be a commemorative version, or somebody took the interior out of commemorative and put it into one of those. So just to be careful out there with those. Let me get back to the chat here. Do you have the Herbie the Love Bug VW Hot Wheels or Greenlight? The Hot Wheels I did. I've sold I don't have the Greenlight. I had the White Lightnings, but I think I've sold all the White Lightnings. I used to collect Herbie. I have it loose in this case down here, and I don't have any more besides just that one now. And I believe I've sold all the White Lightning ones I had. I even had the 5-pack with the White Lightning there for a while, but the prices of them got pretty expensive, and I try to go back to just doing Hot Wheels as much as possible. So that's the Red Baron I have, first one. That's awesome, Chris. That's one of the original, 69, 70 releases there. Randy, the one I have has steering wheel black, and it's so tall it's almost touches the helmet. Yeah, I have the same issue on this one. I don't know if you can see that or not. You can see that in there, Randy? That one has the steering wheel almost touching the helmet. And then I have the Blackwall version where the steering wheel's down in the car. So those were both on Blackwalls. This 73, you can see that it's the same way. I'm sorry. This is one of the first releases, 69. It's almost touching the helmet up there. So I understand that. I found them both ways. I believe they're supposed to be tall, and I think what's happened is that somehow maybe they messed up, broke, or they might have slid down in there. I've never tried to take one out yet, but I'm sure that may be what the deal is there on those. So anyway, that's kind of the Red Baron's kind of history. Like I said, I want to do a video on a lot of these cars to kind of go over all the variations and the differences. But I did find I found a couple of my protos to take. I think I may sell the 62 Chevy. That's the 62 Chevy. This was a proto of it whenever they first started it. And then one that's not for sale that I was going to take to show, a couple people had asked to see it, was the Nissan Titan proto. You can see this one has a blank base on it too. So anyway, I'm going to probably take those. Anyway, yeah, the red lines I've been trying to go through. I've got a list of stuff to find. With the convention coming up, I've seen all the convention cars are on eBay right now. So I took a screenshot of each one of those. I don't really collect any of the castings. I think the Power Wagon's probably the coolest one. But I don't know if y'all have seen those or not. Y'all got anything that y'all are wanting to see or talk more about, let me know. Like I said, I just kind of get a few things out. We talked about, I looked at that Kmart Day deal too. Let me see if I can pull it up real quick. And I took a screenshot of it on my phone. I can't remember exactly who was talking about it. But there's the two Ferraris I believe they were talking about. And then it's got the tan and the black. I believe the black was a whole lot harder to find. But I also know that had a black and tan, the gray interior. Sorry, the base was different on the one that had the tan interior too. So, but that Ferrari is a whole lot harder to find with black interior than the black interior than the tan interior. Sorry, I'm just jumping around. I've just wrote down stuff about last week that we want to talk about, and I try to do a little research on that. So, but anyway, so a lot of y'all, I made a list of cars to go to the convention with. I'm missing a few evidently up in the shop, so I just went ahead and wrote what I needed, and then I always write a list before I go of a quick connect list or quick list on upgrades that's needed, like anything that's like a 6 or below. And when it comes to red lines, I've got quite a few that I can upgrade. I was always looking just to get one of each there for a while, and I marked it off and I kept going. So it's just the way it was. But now I'd like to get a little better shape ones. Like if I can get a 7 or an 8 and above, that's all I need. I don't need all the variations of them either. I just want a good example of each. But anyway, so I don't know if there any, like I said, whatever y'all want to chat about, let me know. I'm just rambling about all this stuff. I did pull out I was going to take the dairy delivery. This is a prototype of a dairy delivery from back in the day that they were working with. And I've got a Cars Lightning McQueen that I was going to take to show too, because said I got all that from the same engineer that worked on it. That was the last thing that he worked on was the Cars prototype. So, but I did have an extra one of these I'd picked up. This is a pretty tough piece to find as far as the mini color changers, and I hadn't seen this color in the mini truck, and they had two, so I ended up buying them. And so I'm taking this to trade around. Hopefully I don't know if any of y'all collect the mini series or the mini color racers, but anyway. That was it on the K-Day card, just like mine, different base, and that's awesome, Shannon. Yeah, I went to look that up, and by far the black interior for sure was the rarest. I think I seen two, so that's awesome. Lee says I just made an upgrade to my red lines the first 70 Boss Hoss Club car. Always wanted one, now bought one on eBay. That's awesome, Lee. I've got a few of the Boss Hoss. I don't know. I know I do have one club car, but they're not the greatest. James says the Dairy Proto made of wood. No, it's not wood. It's a resin. It's like a resin plastic. And I can't remember exactly what they were working on with this one. I've got to find the paperwork over here on the other side. The guy had wrote me, the engineer that was working on these, he had wrote me a paper out on the ones that I bought from him on what they were working on whenever he did it. And I can't remember what the dairy was. But dairy used to be one of my heavy collecting cars, but I've actually sold almost all those off now. Got a good buddy that's got a ton of them that collected them for years. But I don't have any dairies hardly left besides the prototyping of two or three of the first edition and the one that had the, I guess it was the one after the first edition, the one with the moo cow on the side. Sorry, I'm just rambling about other stuff over here. Um, all of all of these were the like that. All these are just that resin prototype. And here's the this was the Sizzler prototype. It was called Live Wire, and like I said, they're just a resin, uh, real light material, I guess, so they could use it to carve. And then this was the Camaro. That's actually hand painted resin. You see the base there, and this was a piece they were working on for a commercial for some kind of tape, and they ended up not doing it, and this was the proto for it. It's pretty wild looking, and that's a pretty that's a really cool car. It'd be hard pressed to let that one go, just because that's the only painted prototype that I own. So anyway, I've been going through debating on whether I want to keep the 30th anniversary um, of the Beatnik Bandit. I collected every Beatnik Bandit that come out, so this is some of the 30th. And then I got a few more of the 30th over here. I believe I've got all the colors for the 30th. And there's the other ones. But if I keep them, I'd rather just kind of open them. But you can tell that they're 30th because of the way the wheels are. And of course they've got the vintage stamp on the base and stuff. So there wouldn't be no confusion with the real ones back here. So I believe most people could tell the difference. But uh, I know there's 93, but the Beanie Bandit's one of those that I make an exception, and I kind of collect everything that come out on Hot Wheels. So Troy says cool. Lee says cool proto. I appreciate it. Awesome. What's up, Woody? It's all good, buddy. I'm glad to see you come by. Yeah, Lee, I appreciate it. The rainbow's coming along pretty good. I still got a few more somewhere, so I wrote down a few variations I'll be looking for while I'm at the convention. I don't know if I'll be able to pick many of them up or not, because mostly interior variations. You're always going to be able to find a shaded issue, because even like I was showing earlier, even in the package you can see how they tone off to a different color, even in the package. So that's why you get those odd colors in between. It's kind of hard to identify sometimes. I appreciate Shannon. I try to get a little mix of everything out. So whenever we go live here, we can talk about whatever y'all want to talk about. I've kind of left a little bit of all of our lives we've talked about over the last few weeks out, so that people come in and out and ask different things. So if somebody comes back in, I can say, hey, yeah, we can go back over it or whatever. So, but if there's anything y'all want to talk about, by all means, just holler at me and ask me, and I'll try to get it out if I don't have it out, or I'll try to get it out for next week and all that. But because I don't want to bore y'all, of course. Lee says I was wrote a rainbow collection of split and image. Oh man, that's awesome. That's to get a gifted red lines is pretty awesome, regardless. And then a rainbow on top of that, Lee, that's pretty cool, man. James says, where did you get the big rotating display case? I'm guessing this one. I got this one at off Facebook Marketplace about 8 or 10 years ago or more. And it was rotating up until what, two lives ago, and I was trying to fix it to bring my Texas drive ones. I was trying to decide whether I wanted to sell those or not, and I was loading all this up, and I ended up burning the motor out. So I haven't had a chance to put a new motor in it, or to I want to kind of make something work, because the motor and gearbox all made into one. It's like $160. So I think I'm gonna try to fix it with a some kind of drill motor. But anyway, yeah, I love this case here. I hate that the motor's out of it, because I'd like to get it spinning for y'all. I've got this spinner, but it's manual spinner, and then I've got another 6-foot spinner that you plug in over there. I could drag over here in front of these cars some, but it's full of it starts my red lines. That's where these usually stay, is in there. And as I find the other ones, I think I've got about 6 or 8 more, maybe 10 more that I haven't found yet, along with some red lines that I got wrote down to try to pick up at the convention, because I don't know where my example is right now. So, but anyway, I'm just rambling about everything now. I've got quite a few more of those beater and kid paints, or what y'all call them, sandbox cars. But I'm going to keep these few here. And I'd like to find one of these in pink, a real one. This one is a real one, but as you can tell, the pink's just about gone. It's on both sides there. You can see the pink. And somebody decided they didn't like it pink. They painted it blue. And somebody ended up scratching the paint off most of it. It's pretty wild. Woody said, how hard is it to replace the motor in it? It's not it wouldn't be hard if I had a motor and gearbox together, but it's, like I said, they're like $160, because it's just specific to this case. So what I was going to do is take the fan off the back and maybe run a electric drill motor on the outside of the fan, so it'll rotate. It just won't rotate as fast. But I haven't even got a chance to really start working on it, because I'll have to take all the cars out when I start working on it, or they'll just start rotating around, because there's a lot of all these the vans are very, very heavy, and I think that's what basically started the whole thing, is that I got all these vans on one end, and when I brung it around and I had it sitting there, it just kind of holds it. And whenever that motor was holding it, I think I just didn't have enough weight to counterbalance the whole thing. But anyway, yeah, I need to fix that. So then y'all got the car show coming up this week. I'll be trying to go to it in the Rod Run in Gatlinburg. I've got uh, I got the video going to drop Thursday, is era video. I hadn't done one in about a month or so, so I decided I'd do an era video. And then, like I said, trying to get everything together and the golf cart out for that, and get it ready to go, and then getting everything together for the convention. I just hadn't had a chance to work on this, so as soon as I get done with the convention and back, I plan on digging into this and trying to get it going. So, but anyway, I got a bunch of cars here to open. I hadn't opened yet. I may do a video on open them. Got the that's got to go with the Trans Am collection, and I got a couple of more buses. Well, I dropped all the cars. Got that bus to open, and that bus to open to go with the Volkswagens. Hadn't opened those yet. Then I've got some black walls to open. We got all these black walls to open for the collection. Now these are cut cards on black walls, but I don't mind opening them as much, because they're a little easier to come by than they are the red lines. But anyway, and I thought I might just go ahead and shoot something and you know, opening them all because I got a lot, like I said, a lot to open there on those. What would you consider an error versus not an error? Would a tire with a half the spoke hubcap chipped off in a package be considered an error? Yes, for sure, James. I consider, I guess I consider a lot of things errors. Some people don't. Anything that's not meant to be, uh, anything that's not meant to be put out for, I believe, is an error. But taking a bird to Gatlinburg, no, I'm not going to take a car this time, Randy. I'm just going up. We're going to go up and stay for a couple days and come back and take the golf cart. Man, that last convention you were at was awesome. Yeah, that convention is the Ever Nationals, and every convention I go to is just, it's amazing. Um, it's just, you know, everybody being in, a lot of people being in the same hotel so you can hang out half the night and trade around, talk, you know, Hot Wheels or whatever all night and whatever else, you know, cars, whatever. It's pretty awesome. Um, Lee says, Troy says, awesome. Lee says, I collect errors, unintentional and varies intended. Yeah, I do too, Lee. Error cars, anything weird from the factory. Yeah, that's anything that I like the error stuff. I've got a couple of y'all's there y'all sent me. This was one Lee had sent me. This has no interior in it. And this is one Tom had handed me that it has a Porsche with no front wheel there. And I love the Arrows. And so I decided that I'll leave a few out. I know y'all might have seen that on the video. This one's unspun all the way. And the whole base is completely separated from the body. So that's really cool Arrows. I like anything like that, missing pieces, messes up, that kind of thing. This is actually an Arrow. This was the first convention I ever went to from 2003, so 22 years ago. And you can see the whole top there has been rubbed down whenever it got rubbed across there. And me and Daddy, I don't know which one of us got it, but one of us got this car, and of course I've kept it ever since. So it's one of my, let's say, my first convention car, and that was the finale car. So have y'all seen the convention cars for this year already? For the convention here in a couple weeks, I actually took some pictures of them off eBay. Air cars, we're landing that in a general a safer landing. Sometimes the error is an improvement. I agree with you, Lee. Especially anything missing tampos. A lot of times, I think if they would just make, I think they ought to make a series called just plain or something, and just have it, you know, no tampos at all. Just maybe some headlights, tail lights, and that'd be the tampos, and then just be a solid color would be pretty awesome. What's up from Huntington Beach, California? What's up, Dowstar Diecast? Error cars are something I never considered until Jason put me looking for. Yeah, some people don't do errors for sure. There's all mixes. I know quite a few people that do collect errors, and then I know a lot of people that's like, I won't even touch them, won't even pick them up when I see them in the store. So a lot of those people, I've told them if they buy them or trade around, I'll trade around something for them later because I love errors. So I appreciate it, Shannon. Yeah, there's pretty awesome stuff. I was moving stuff around and I pulled out the old number one. I like to see it for a little while, so I pulled it back out. I've got a 8-foot case that I've got to get out, which I've got it up at the shop. My dad gave me that my granddaddy used to use to collect his fishing lures in. It's an old knife case. It's like 8 foot by 4 foot, and it's going over here to put some of my old track pieces in. Like this stuff may go in it, stuff like that. Some of the rarer stuff. So. James says a Hot Wheels convention, every hotel room seems like its own small diecast, small store. I agree with you on that one. Um, I do have some pictures of the convention cars. I don't know if y'all have seen them yet or not. Um, that's the first convention car. It's a Corvette C8, the C8R. That's number one. Uh, let's see, the number two is this. That's the Nissan. It's the Silvia S14. That's number two. Uh, the finale car is the Dodge Power Wagon, which is pretty awesome. Uh, and then this last one here is that's the dinner car. It's the Skyline GTR. I'm sorry, 30 R35. So anyway, that's the convention cars that they're going to be giving out next week or 2 weeks now in the convention. Yeah, I found a. Let me get back to over here. Make sure to smash that like button. I appreciate it. Thank you. Found a red Escort that comes with mismatched wheels that had all white 5-spoke. Didn't look like Era, but it is. That's pretty awesome there. Era cars, if I see them, I buy them. I don't find them very often. I agree with you, Troy. It seems like lately they've dried up quite a bit. To tell you the truth, I think they've got a little better with their stuff. I remember back, I used to go out all in the early 2000s and probably all the way through 2010, and it was like every time I went out, you could find them. So lately, it hadn't been as much. I had a 55 Chevy Gasser and the Batmobile Blister. Now that's pretty cool. I'd collect the 55 Gasser. I've got quite a few areas of them. I found some more that I need to go over that are over there in the. I got another case that you pull out the front that's for loose, but I have some stuff. It's got a storage area in the back, and I forgot I've been putting a lot of the 55s and 83 arrows that I had over in it. So that's awesome. I'd like to see that Gasser and the Batmobile Blister. I'd like to have that. That's cool. Cool. Hard Diecast gassers are pretty cool, I must say. I agree. I collect all the gassers, Woody. I've got them all, but the NFTH is the one I'm missing right now. The Power Wagon's got a nice logo on the package. Yeah, James, that's the Power Wagon going to be at the finale car. So sick. It says have one old miscarded car. Says 69 GTO on the car, but the car is completely different. Yeah, that's cool, Lee. That's the kind of stuff I like to find as much as possible. Uh, anything that's on the wrong package, anything missing wheels. Um, pretty rare piece you don't see a lot is the wheel completely turned around backwards. I don't know if you can see that or not, but the wheel on that truck on the front is turned around backwards. No, that one's not. I'm sorry. That one's just a black wheel. I've got one that's turned around backwards. I thought it was right over here close by, but I was I was lying to you. Sorry. And that's why I like the arrows. Like that's why I couldn't pass this up. Just to have, I've got some black wall arrows, but to have a red line arrow in the package to me is, that's like I don't go hunting them because you don't see a ton of them anyway. But whenever you find something like that, it's like obviously I want to round out the collection of arrows, to have a little bit of everything. So says Lee says arrow todays are hard to find. And I agree. You don't find them a lot. I think the last thing that found out in the wild, Daddy found it and Mama. It was the Supra without the tampos on the side, and that was probably a little over a month ago. Yeah, Lee, the inside out wheels are pretty cool, and they're a rare type of arrow. I like the double tampo stuff and the unspuns. I'm trying to think. Uh, but anyway, and then like a lot of the Blackwall stuff, you'll see stuff like this when you're looking around, like where they missed putting a chrome on a wheel or something, and you'll be like, oh man. So I pick up Blackwall's arrows also. I got quite a few of them, which is what's in this case, or this one right here below. I've been working on getting stuff for the convention to take to show, and then also trying to get stuff to get ready to sell and trade around. I don't know if y'all saw last week's recap, but I don't think I'm gonna do as big a show as I had last time. I think I'm gonna do basically. Um, I'm thinking about doing more of a $3 each, 4 for 10 deal on just to blow out a bunch of older castings and stuff that I've had. But yeah, that's that. Trying to think if there's anything else that y'all may want to talk about that was on last week's agenda that I didn't get a chance to talk about. I did go back and look at the Rockford files for our Firebirds because I was confused. Chris was right. It was a 74 was the first year. Actually, they used the 74 and 74 and 75 and 76, 77, and 78. All three of those years, um, they had a different car for each year for each. So it's pretty awesome. So they used for all the different for the first 2 years they used the 74, then they went to 76 and 76, 77 and 77, 78 and 78. And that was the last year. So that was pretty cool. I remember it more when it had the 77, 78 nose. And then whenever I went back, obviously 74 was the first year. So um my first let's see, home. My first arrow was unchrome wheel, called it running on a spare. Yeah, that's right, Lee. 24 in here is what I'm showing. Might need to refresh too. I'm excited if there's 24 people in here. I appreciate all of y'all coming by and talking about cars or whatever y'all want to talk about. When a car has all small wheels or all large wheels when normally it's staggered, is it considered a variation or an era? Most of the time, Chris, it's an era, but there are some there's been enough run. I would say um, if we put, you'll see I think after there's like, if I've found or seen like 8 or 10 myself in person, then I would almost consider it a variation at that point. Um, Actually, one of the errors in my video I had for this week was the 69 Camaro out of the Wastelander series, the yellow one, and it had the tampo on the top of the car was completely reversed. But I've seen like 3 of those. So is it considered an error or variation? I think it's more of a variation after you've seen so many. So it's kind of hard to tell sometimes. But if you've seen, because sometimes you can find 2 in the same store, and then you think, well, how many's out there? Probably ain't very many. But um, I would say sometimes you just got to say, you know, I veer toward era until I've seen about, 8 or 10 of them myself. But that's just me. Um, Yeah, that was a good question, Chris. I appreciate it. 25 on the phone. That's awesome. I appreciate it. Looks like we probably lost a few because I was talking about them. But I appreciate everybody coming by. So they intentionally put small wheels or large wheels as a variation on the models. Yeah, they did that pretty hard there for a while, especially in 95. Some of the 95 first editions, they were having 10 and 12 of each first edition because they'd have different size wheels, different color wheels. So the pink one, it says, I'm sorry, Troy. It says the pink one, I found it after I got it home, was going to open it, but didn't. Paint flaws on the tampo. Looks like a behind paint jobs, well as the castings, no tampos on the sideburn. That's pretty cool, Troy. All small wheels, all large wheels are errors, but cool errors. always grab those. I agree with you on that. My dad said to hit the like button. I appreciate it. But yeah, trying to think of some stuff. I got out the number one because you don't see it as much, and I wanted to enjoy it. I think I told you all about that a few minutes ago. Um, Went over the Red Barons. If anybody needs me to go back over those, I can. That was cool. Got some more kid paint cars. I pulled out a couple of the Nitty Gritty Kitties. We were talking about those last week. Now this is a blue. I'm thinking this is not that aqua. Now this one, like I said, I'm colorblind, so this one may be aqua, but I don't know if it's green, blue, aqua. I can't tell you, but I call it in a blue family myself. It's a lighter blue than this one to me, but y'all know more about that stuff than I do. This was a kid's paint of a Nitty Gritty Kitty, white interior, which is pretty cool. But that was a nice car. You can tell by the base that was a pretty nice car, and the wheels that somebody took care of it even after they painted it. Pretty wild looking. I've never tried to take the paint off of them. Some people say you can now. They've got some new stuff out that you can get the paints off. I've never tried. This is one of my favorite, what they call kid paints. They put the sticks in. It's a 456 cubic inch right there on that one. Pretty awesome. That's one of my favorites. I know I'm going back over these. I know some of y'all probably saw them already. This one had a 24 on the door, and he put a stripe down the side. Pretty cool. And I've got a few more kid paints over there that I'm keeping for my collection, but most of the painted stuff I kind of trade around to get other things I want. So let me get back over to the chat now. I have a yellow F40 all small wheels, thinking it's a variation. It may be. I don't know, Chris. You just text me a picture of it or whatever, and I'll let you know for sure. I'll have to check it out and see. Lee says all Dodge Dart come with all small wheels and all large wheels, small fronts. Yeah, I agree with you on that, Lee. Y'all might remember in Classics, whenever the Hot Bird first come out, there was two colors in it that come with all large wheel. Then they switched it mid-run on the second color. So if you can find that first color, I'm pretty sure it was the chrome with the small front wheel. The small front wheel would have been an era, but I haven't found one of those yet for my collection. That's one of the cars I do remember I'm looking for. I want to double check it's the chrome one, but y'all may remember what I'm talking about on that one. You have any Hong Kong eras? I'm not sure. I've got a lot of eras. I don't know if I've got any Hong Kong eras or not. Oh, this one's made USA. I don't know if I've got any Krong eras, to tell you the truth. I may have. I've got quite a few eras, but I don't know exactly which. If you'll let me know kind of what Hong Kong eras you're talking about, I can tell you if I have them maybe. Troy I appreciate that. Woody says, you can tell I'm an amateur. We're all amateurs sometimes, you know what I mean? Yeah, that 34 Vicky Rat Rod is cool. Have the red Hot Wheels with all small wheels on the Classic. That's awesome, Lee. I've got one or two with all small wheels, but the all small wheel stuff's tough to find. Says I was just wondering. I'm not 100% sure. I'll have to look around on the Hong Kong stuff. I know I've probably got some couple of red lines that are eras that may have Hong Kong base. I'm not 100% sure. I did come across a couple of cars out of that box with the Beatnik Bandits here that I'm debating on whether to keep or not, because I've sold about all of my Snake and Mongoose stuff that's from 1990 to now. These come out in 95. These were the limited edition set. I think these were, I can't remember if they were Japan's or which ones they were, but they're a pretty tough set to find. So I love the snake and mongoose, and I've got a 12-foot. I think it's a, well, it might not be 12. It might be an 8-foot by 4-foot or 5-foot banner of the snake and mongoose over there that come from the movie. And anything that's pre, 1990, I collect. So Richard says I have a black '88 Ford Thunderbird small back tires and one with big back tires. That's cool, Richard. Still cool. I appreciate it. Sick. Yeah, that's cool, Chris. Yeah, I knew you had that one signed. I'd like to have. Only thing I think I've got signed from Snake and Mongoose was the set that they put out. I think you had some of them with the had the drag tree in the middle, and I had the 2 special editions. I have the prototype also carded over there of one of those that come out of that set. Now those sets I didn't sell because it's signed, and I've got the prototype to it. It's the only reason I didn't sell those because they were newer. But I did sell most of my other the Snake and Mongoose stuff that's newer. Hold on, let me go. I must have missed something. Woody says, my question above. I'm curious, please, sir. Let me go back up here, Woody. What am I missing, Woody? Paint variations. What did they do to the years? I guess I mean more in one decade than the next decade. Is that what you're talking about, Woody? The paint variations, they still do those today. They're just not as much as what they used to do. When they first started in the original 68, the Sweet 16, every one of them had 10 or 12 colors on them. And they've pretty much done variations like that pretty much since on color wise. I think they were more heavy in the 90s because they were 1989 they started realizing they wanted to number the cars because that's whenever they knew collectors were collecting, so they were trying to kind of push more stuff out to the adult collectors. So I think they made more variations starting in 1989 to now than they because they really wasn't thinking about variations, I don't believe, whenever they first come out till about 19, I'd say around 80, 87, 88, they probably realized then it's like, it don't matter what we put out, collectors are going to collect. So that's my opinion, of course. I hope that helped a little bit. Um, I have the snake sign, yeah. What will you sell those for? I'm not for sure, Randy. I hadn't even thought about it yet. Because if I was to keep them, I don't know if I'd want to keep them in the package. I would want to keep them loose. But I hadn't even thought about it, to tell you the truth. Found the Nitro Rail locomotive style hauler and diecast shows Shorewood this last Saturday. That's cool, James. Nitro Rail locomotive. You was talking about that last week, and I can't remember what that was. That was a sweet set. I agree with you, Chris. Yes, I guess, Woody, I answered some of your questions. And Randy says I have a top fuel dragster pair mongoose snake. That's cool. I I collected the snake and mongoose sets. I've got I don't know exactly what I put the box right off, but I have a snake and mongoose set. A lot of people, oh, I think it's right here. I'll show you a rare set. This is probably one of the rarest sets that I have for snake and mongoose stuff in my collection. This is the original dragster pack with the dragsters. They were brand new on the package. The plastic actually has lifted off, but this is the original in the package there, and it has the bars and stuff on them. And you can see it's still got the connectors and stuff here where the plastics come out. And these are, I think, from 1970. I'd have to look. So I ended up buying that, and then I ended up buying another one so I could have the back. This one had been ripped open, so I bought it off just so I could have the back. And These come out in 1970. So that's one of the rarest Snake and Mongoose pieces that I have. This is original piece. So when I get my showcase I was talking about earlier out, I'm going to plan on putting this out for, so I can see it, because it can't get much more mint than those cars. And then, of course, being on the original package until the plastic finally come off of it. But anyway, just wanted to show that. That is awesome. But that's been in this box ever since I got it. I just got lucky enough to find those. I saw a set at the convention a few years back, and then I hunted them for about a year, and then I come across both that set and the empty package within a week of each other, and so I went ahead and picked them up. Those been a few years back. I got those now. It says I would open them. Yeah, I agree with you, Randy. Awesome, love it. Dang. Yeah, Lee says I have a Snake Mongoose drag bus set from the Redline Club, still in an unopened box. That's cool. I've got the Snake and Mongoose drag set from the set, and I also got you remember the van truck, whatever you call it, you remember the dragster? Where's it at? It must be, yeah, it's up there. It's a VW drag truck. Remember, it had a Snake and Mongoose set that come from Japan. That one half was painted snake and one half was painted mongoose. I don't know if y'all remember that. I got it in there. Now that's another piece that I did keep, because I don't collect that casting, but I did like that piece because of the way it was Snake and Mongoose together. It says, "Oh, mine are a lot smaller." I appreciate it. Yeah, that's a piece that uh, very rare. You don't really come by it very often, and there's certain pieces like that. Like even if you got the money to buy it, you got to find somebody with one that wants to sell it. So selling with Woody. Woody says, so collectors collect cards loose as well as one that collects on cards. Does that affect the value? Yeah, Woody. A lot of people will collect carded, and then like me, I collect mostly loose. But it does affect the value. A lot of times you're going to get a little bit more for one that's carded. But sometimes even in red lines, loose ones bring just as much as carded. And I found that out with a lot of my red line club stuff that I've had over the years, that I'll loosen it up and then I'll go to resell it or trade it around. And whenever you go do that, I get just as much loose as I do carded, because a lot of people don't want to open the cards, or they have a hard time opening the cards. So they'll trade around about the same price. But unopened generally sells for more. I agree with you on that one, Lee. Thanks for sharing. No problem, Delstar. Anytime y'all think of something that y'all want to talk about or see, I'm trying to still dig stuff out from up at the shop. Like whenever y'all ask a question, I'll try to do some research between one week to the next week, and then see what I can find up there to talk about. Uh, but I don't know what all y'all want to kind of see. I'll be more than happy to show it to you. I pulled out whatever y'all talk about kind of the week before. I try to pull out a lot of that, and then whatever we talk about at the time, we'll just try to go with it. So, but I'm open to any of it that y'all want to holler or talk about for sure. Um, Found something kind of neat that I don't know if anybody remembers these. These were called jumpsters. It's off the subject of Hot Wheels, I know, but I don't know if y'all remember those or not. But you push the button down, and then whenever it rolls so far, it pops up. But anyway, just a Trans Am that I'd found. I just wanted to go over. I don't know why. I just thought it was cool. You don't see a lot. Fun to open because they look a whole lot better loose. I agree with you on that, Lee. I've been so many people say, "What? Where's this? Or where's this? Or where's this?" And it's like, where'd this come from and all that. And it's like, well, you probably got one. You just don't realize what the other side looks like. It looks completely different when you get them out of the package and hold them in your hand than it does in the hand. It's like the Hirahata Merc. I mean, you can't get the way that this looks in the package, because when you look into that clear plastic, it just kills the shine on these things. And this thing looks just killer loose. The funny thing is back whenever we used to do customs, you see that front wheel there? Before they had that, we always used metal thumbtacks, and we'd cut the little thing off and then glue the thing on there to make the solid SoCal hubs, or whatever you want to call them, moon hubs. But it's just something off the wall there that I was thinking about when I saw that. Chris says maybe the Hot Bird collection. You're right, Chris. I need to spin it around. I started getting it out. I'll try to spin it around. I'm going to put that on the list, and I'll try to start getting some of that out. I got a lot. I'm not saying I got every Hot Bird made and every variation, but I'm probably 90% there. I am missing some. I am missing a couple of Leos, but you know, they're $1,000 price range for those, if you can find anybody wanting to sell them. But I'm gonna go ahead and write down Hot Birds, and I'll try to get those spun around. And if there's anything else that y'all think of while we're talking that y'all might want to talk about, just let me know. Or if there's anything else y'all want to go over. I may have went over some of this stuff too quick. I don't know. Let me get back to there. I missed the Red Baron part. How many colors are there? Forrest, what I did was, this was the Red Barons are, what I went over on this, on the Red Barons, Forrest, was the, this was the first release here. You can see it's got the Spectre Flame paint, and it's got the point on the top of your helmet, and it's got the closed wheels, and it's in Spectre Flame red. And this was another one that's just a little bit different color, Spectre Flame, and it's actually missing the helmet decal. It's supposed to have them on there. Then in 73, the early runs of 73, you're going to see that it's got a not pointed helmet, but then you're going to have a closed rear wheel, and then you've got an open hole front wheel. You can see this one's missing the chrome on the back of it, but it's completely closed wheel and then the open wheel. Then you're going to see some of the later runs is going to have a open wheel on the front and the back of the red line. If you know what I'm talking about with the wheels there being open, you can kind of see the hole there where you can see the axle through. Then they went into the Blackwall version, which was enamel. They did enamel in 73, and then they went to this lighter color red in the Blackwalls. And this one actually is one we was talking about earlier that has the steering wheel all the way down in the body. And then this was another one that has the steering wheel I was talking about that goes all the way up and almost touches the helmet. And then this one just was a bonus. This was an error that I'd found where they didn't do the chrome on the back of the wheel. So it's pretty cool. But red was the, and then they did do 30th anniversaries like they did on the, they did 30th anniversaries like they did these on the Beatnik Bandits. I was looking for a 30th anniversary, and they did those in ultimately a lot of different colors, but I think there was 8 colors of each whenever they made these, but I didn't collect all of those. I did have 1 or 2 Red Barons somewhere. I did say to a lot of people that if you see the white interior on a Red Baron, make sure it's not got a vintage base and it doesn't have the open holes. And then if it does have white interior, 99.99% of the time it's one of the anniversary pieces. And if it's an old one, you got to really look at it because somebody may have took that interior out and tried to put it in one of the old ones. But anyway, how do you determine what you want to sell and what you want to keep? Get tired of one part of your collection, or it gets into something else? James, I like looking at it, and it's kind of like anything. There's certain castings that I know that I'll keep that I love, which is the Hot Bird and the Dixie Challenger, the Hightail Hauler, stuff like that that I'll collect everything that comes out of. And then there's like the buses. It's like I collected the buses for years and years, and I kind of just look at them. And I'm like, you know, they hadn't put out a bus in a while, it seemed like, and then all of a sudden they flooded again with buses because they come out with the Ninja bus, and then they come out with the Red Line Club bus, so those need to be open. So I was debating on whether I wanted to sell that collection because it's hard to put a bus collection together. I've already sold 3 or 4 really higher dollar pieces out of here because I thought I was going to sell them, but I've kind of decided I like them again, so I'm kind of looking at them. But the 55, the Texas Drive one, I think I'm about decided I'm going to sell that casting. I love the casting, and I'll keep 1 or 2 of them, but I'll sell the rest of them because, I don't know, you just get tired of maybe that casting. I did the same thing with the 62 Chevy a couple years ago. Had all of them, and then I ended up just selling them all off because I've just got tired of it, I guess is what you would say. So I hope that helps a little bit. I really don't. And as far as getting into something, there is a few castings like the Hirahata Mert. I really am into that, so I collect it. Of course, the 83 Chevy and the 55 Gassers. So that's a few of the very newer castings I collect. The Titan. The Titan hadn't done anything in a long time, but I'll keep the Titan. I've got all of those and every variation of them. I'm looking for a PR5 first edition loose. I have it in the package, but I don't really want to open it. But I'd like to have one to open. But anyway, let me. I hope that helps some, James. Sorry about the rambling. Chris says that would have been sweet. Yeah, I'll pull out the hot birds. I'll try to pull out the hot birds. We can go over them. Yeah, I can pull. That'll take up quite a bit of space up here. I think I got 2 rows of them in here, and then of course the originals over there. So we can maybe look at that next week. I'll try to work on those. Let's see. And Woody says, yeah, the hot birds. I love your case. Cool. Yeah, I appreciate that, Troy. I'm going to try to get that fixed. Like I said, I get done next couple of weeks. We got the rod run this coming week, and then we've got the Dixie sign shows also this weekend. Then we got the convention coming up, so I'm hoping sometime right after that I'm going to dig into this and try to get this back running for y'all. I want it running too, don't get me wrong, because I can't see half the cars that are in here right now. So let's see. The white interior Red Baron's rare. I agree with you, Lee. I've only seen one, and that was Mike Strauss's way back in the day. I know there's a couple of them out there, but it's been a long time since I've even seen one in person. They usually get into a collection and they'll sit for forever, basically. Okay, because I have a red and a light green and a black one and a pink one. Forrest says it says vintage. Forrest, if you look on the bottom, see if it says vintage. It'll have like a tampo, something like this one, or let me find the other tampo, or it'll say that one said 25th anniversary, or this one that says vintage on the base, because the originals only come in red, and they never made. Now they made like a light red, dark red, but they never made the Red Baron in any other color until the vintage come out, as far as I know, unless it was some kind of a pre-production run, and that could be the case. I don't know. I hadn't seen them, but that's pretty awesome. Lee says, fun to find how you bought years ago and now valuable. Love selling some of those. Yeah. That's the way that 62 was. I tell you the truth. Nobody cared about the 62 for years, and all of a sudden it just went crazy. Same thing with the 83 Silverado. I collected all of them. Got the military rods and the fire rods and all those loose. I had them for years, and then all of a sudden they finally took off. And I had stacks of the Elderbrock ones that we were cutting up for the wheels off of them back in the day, and I sold all them off because I was thinking they was good because they were bringing like $20 a piece a few years back, and now they're probably $50, $60 a piece or more. Who knows? I only gave $2 a piece for them back in the day. So, and the same thing with the modern classic one. The only one I do know that's out there, it's kind of a prototype, is the modern classic antifreeze on the 83. But I think there's only 3 or 4 of those known to exist. I'd like to eventually have one of those, but probably won't ever happen. That just reminded me of it when we was talking about it. Sorry, I'm just rambling about stuff. Choice is awesome. I'm a fan of your Hot Wheel and Ramblings. I appreciate it, James. I'll jump from one subject to the other if it ain't just get crazy with it. Uh, Troy says metal base, right? Yeah, I agree. Troy, yeah, they are metal base. They're mostly in classic cards. Yeah, I agree with you, Forrest. I didn't collect all the classic ones, but I do know they made a lot of the classics. They did the Snake and Mongoose and classic cards too, in different colors. So I understand what you're saying there. Woody says, for us stupid people, can you show us what a classic card looks like and what a modern card looks like and how they've changed? Um, this is an original card. If this is what I believe this is what you're talking about. This was the original. And then this was the 25th anniversary. They basically, the cards look the same. Of course, they've got a plastic button in them, but they say 25th anniversary right there on the card. And then on the back, they're white. And then they'll say in the bottom corner, like 1992, 1993. And then these will be like a 10, and then they'll say the year on this one. This one says 67, so this was one of the first runs of the. So there's your two different cards. I know they look similar, but and then the car itself is pretty close, but the base will say 25th anniversary, or it'll have the vintage tempo, and it'll have the dot wheels. See, the wheels are dotted, and then the red lines are not really molded on the wheel. They're actually painted. So just a lot of things like that, if that's what you're talking about. Troy says, "Oh, okay." It says modern classics on the card. Yeah, that's what I was asking. Thanks, brother. No problem. Classics of '05 versus modern classics, which was a late run of the classics. Oh, okay, Lee. Yeah, you're talking about you're talking about that. That's the Hot Wheels classics, and then the modern classics was like the Mustang was in the modern classics. I don't have any of the modern classics left on card. I sold all of mine, but that's the classics. I think maybe you're talking about. That's Series 5. And then they did the modern classics the year I believe it was the year after that, which had the 83 Sylvie. I mean, 83. I'm sorry, 83 Silverado had the that Mustang in it. That's crazy price now. It's got a Honda Civic that's pretty expensive. I believe that's what you're talking about, the modern classics. Yeah, I don't have any of the modern classic cards right now. That's actually what that's what this was before I took the paint off of it and put the real riders on it. Modern classics, they didn't sell very well, so I was buying those discounted at stores. They normally $3, and they had marked them down for like $1 a piece. So I'd buy them left and right because they made great customs back in the day. And then obviously it's just like anything. Anything it seems like they clearance out and they make real cheap. 20 years from now will be stuff that everybody wants because nobody really bought it, nobody kept it in the package, that kind of thing. And I think that's still today the way it goes. Same thing with the World Race 35s. Clearance those out. They wasn't nothing. Now they've went crazy price. Stuff like that is amazing to me. But that's what happens on a lot of that stuff. What year did Hot Wheels transition from stickers to tampos, or was it a gradual over time? It was 73 is whenever they really switched over. Um, it was cheaper for them to make as the stickers. There wasn't a lot of 73. They started all the enamels and then they went over into stickers around 70, 72. They had a couple of cars out. Of course, they had a couple of cars out before then, but most of them all was around 73. So. Original red lines came with water slide decals you put on yourself. Yeah, I agree, Lee. None of these over here that I've got have the decals. Well, I take it back. This one does. No, the Lola does. You can see that it has the sticker decals for it. But this, I believe these were stickers. I can't remember. It says put on the labels as shown. This was from, yeah, this was a 19, yeah, this one may have been this one may have been a sticker decal you're talking about. Whoop, whoop. Yeah, I believe that's what you're talking about there. And that was the Lola. So, yeah, they, some of them, I'm surprised the spoilers. Yeah, there's the spoilers that have it in the bottom too. There's your water slide decals you was talking about. Had the moon eyes off in there. They had some really cool stuff. Of course, that was before you had to get a license to get them all. But they had Valvoline and all that in there. I'd forgot about the stickers you was talking about on the bottom. I know that there's the water slide ones, I believe, that you're talking about there. So that's cool. Forgot about that. You're exactly right on that. Because like the 442 and stuff had the sticker sheet in the bottom. They were actually stickers you filled out. I'm pretty sure the Lola was like that. But the spoilers was the water slide decals. And they sold the water slide decals separate. I've got those somewhere over there. I'll have to find them again. Because I seen them not too long ago. Yeah. Some with stickers. Some had water slides. I agree with you, Lee. That's, yeah, stuff. It's cool. Yeah, I like I forget about some of that stuff, and y'all remind me of it, which is really cool. I'll find that sticker sheet. I'll try to remember to find it, and I'll try to bring it out if I can remember where it is. I've got something over here I'm looking for. Something I'm going to be on the hunt for this convention. And y'all may have seen this on the video before, but I've got 2 of the 4. I'm looking for the other 2. They're on the back. And the main one I'm looking for, this one, they had a Hot Bird and a Dixie Challenger. Dixie Challenger and the Hot Bird there one's going to be the hardest one to find. So that's pretty cool. I'm looking for those. And I think all the conventions I went through, I hadn't hardly seen any of these. I ended up finding these off of Facebook. So kind of neat, something different that you don't see a whole lot. Awesome choices stuff. What's up? Alex in the house. Alex Beard King Picker. What's up, buddy? Says reselling with Woody water slide ones were when people had the patience to do stuff like that. Kids nowadays don't have the patience. I agree with what you're saying there. So the Reseller Locker Room podcast says they're here. What's up? What's going on, everybody? Well, never seen. Yeah, that's a piece that you don't see a whole lot. And like I said, all the years I've collected, I think I've seen them a couple times. And I had a chance to pick up those 2. And I'm looking for the other 2 to finish the set. And then I think the water slide were from the model kits we had way back before Hot Wheels. Yeah, some of them were. I agree with you. But yeah, I've got some prototype stuff that I've been getting together to take to show. And then I've got a lot of stuff to sell, but I think I'm gonna do mostly a $3 4 for 10 section on the bed or something like that, just to get rid of a lot of odd stuff, because like I said, I'm looking more for trying to keep my collection of the the older stuff, and of course I've got a list of red lines that I need to find because I know I've got them up at the shop, but where they are and all that good stuff. So, and a list of upgrades to get too, quite a bit there on the list. So, what's up? It looks like Jefferson's here. CJ Benz finds. That's awesome. What's up, Jefferson? But yeah, I'm hoping that it's going to be a good show. We got Nick for next Tuesday. I've got wrote down to look for the hot birds. I've got most of them in here, and then of course the black walls over here, and then I've got sticker sheets for red lines wrote down too. So I'll try to find those. If there anything else that y'all want to see or talk more about next Tuesday, let me know, and I'll be more than happy to pull it out and we can take a look at it. And I'd like to have an upgrade for that one. We talked about that a couple times, but I'm still tickled to know that that one time this one was a pink one. So that normally wouldn't even be in the collection, but it's a pink and it's a Dodge Charger. So Troy says, I have the Hot Wheels stamp. You have all the 3-packs cars. I believe you showed a few back. I don't know if I have the cars still. That's cool. You got the stamp. I've got a couple of 3-packs sitting over here close by. I don't remember what they were. I think it was the Ultra Hots 3-packs laying over here. Give me 1 second. I'll look. Sorry about that. Sorry about that. All right, I'm back. It is an Ultra Hots 3-pack with a stamp. See if I can get it out here so y'all can check it, take a look at it. This was an Ultra Hots 3-pack, and it come with a free stamp. You can see I had 1984 on that one. That was one I'd picked up, I think, at the last convention, tell you the truth. And I hadn't took it out since I got it. Oh yeah, I did take this to the convention because I had this to take to show to somebody. And then I remember picking up this book. If y'all saw my last video, I hadn't even took it out of this package since I got it home. So I hadn't even looked at that book yet. So I've got to get that book out and take a look at it. And then, oh, there you go. I knew it was somewhere. There's one of the stick around sticker sheets I was talking about for the red lines that they sold separately. We talked about earlier. And then here's the racing stickers, also the bigger ones. Put on your helmets or bikes or whatever. So I forgot. I knew I'd had them somewhere. I just couldn't remember where they were. Then I got some really cool stuff in here. I got some old iron-ons for shirts and stuff from Black Walls and stuff back in the day. Let's see. It says, let me get back over here. We are good. Charge good candidate for a restore. Yeah, Lee, not that one. I said that one was pink. I'd hate to do anything to it. I agree with what you're saying. A lot of people does the restores on. I sell a lot of my beaters to people, and that's what they do with them, and that's cool. That one I probably won't ever sell, just because it's probably the only pink I'll ever own of that one. As a kid, I had a set. That's cool. How about the 40 Woody casting? That might go with the Hot Birds. 40 Woody casting. Let me write that down. The 40 Woody casting. I have a few of the 40 Woodies. I do know that. I know I've got some Real Riders and stuff of that. I'll write that down and I'll try to get some of those out too for next week. I wrote that down. That was it. The one I had it. Remember, those cars still have not in the good shape. Probably. Yeah, you're probably right. That's what they were meant to do, is open and play with and stuff. So that's pretty cool. I remember those stickers. Wow, memories. Yeah, yeah, Lee. Those stickers are killer. Um, Man, this chat just went out to left field. I don't know. I must have missed something. I wanted to show y'all these while I had them out here close. Something that you don't see a lot. These are old T-shirt transfers. Um, it's hard to tell what that is, but that's a Dixie. That's a Dixie Challenger and the Hot Bird. And this is a. I wish y'all could see a little easier, but it's like a glitter transfer from back in the day. And like I said, I wish y'all could see it. It's pretty awesome. You can kind of make it out there, but uh, I'd love to have one put on a shirt because I'd wear it, but I don't want to mess these up and put them on a shirt. And this is a different one with the, this one's got the Bronco on it, and it's got a Byway Man. So I'll have to get some better pictures of that. And it's all good, Randy. I'll have to get some pictures of those transfers because you really can't see them without some light behind it. I've got them in a video from probably a year ago, but I took them to the convention because a lot of people wanted to see those. So yeah, some Chris got a bolt. Y'all have a great night. I must have missed something up here in the chats. I'm sorry, fellas. Um, Let me see. I'm trying to catch up with the crowd. Later, guys. Dinner time. Have a good one, Chris. Sorry I missed it a while ago. Keep beaters in good cars as a good character. I do on some of them. I lost chat, Randy. Okay. Sweet. Yeah, same, Chris. Got a bolt. Y'all have a good one. I'll check y'all later, Woody, Chris. Chatters are rambling now. Sorry. T-shirt. Cool, yeah. Do you have Ertl General Lee? Yeah, I've got mine from a kid right here in his hand. And I've got some right here. This is an Ertl General Lee. I don't know if you can see the Ertl there. I've actually got quite a few. The one that Marvin's got in his hand is mine when I was a kid, and he's got my original Hot Bird when I was a kid. Those two, a little beat up, but I've actually got my original General Lee's down there in a tackle box that I had when I was a kid, and I've probably got 4 or 5 of them, and they're beat. Also had this from when I was a kid. I don't know if y'all remember this, but it come with a wristwatch, and you wound it up, and it had a little ramp, and you put it off, and it took off. But I've got it. I don't know where the wristwatch right off is, but that's the card that goes in it. But anyway, I got quite a few of the General Lee stuff from back in the day, and I've collected over the years. But I lost chat just at 9 p.m. Plus had to watch 2 ads. Sorry about that, Randy. Randy, you going to the convention this year? I couldn't remember if I asked or not. And then mine are gone. Yeah. Lee says get ad block. I don't know. I don't place the ads. They just kind of place themselves, I guess. So sorry about that. Everybody's getting ads on the live. But anyway, well, if y'all got anything else y'all want to talk about, I'd be more than happy to. I've got a couple things wrote down. If there's anything else y'all want to talk about for next week, just let me know. I'm gonna put the video out Thursday. My plans are, and that'll be on. I got another thing of arrows to go through. Do you have a lot of Hot Wheel 1970s vinyl carrying cases? Yeah, I've got quite a few. Carrying cases. I collected them for a long time. I've got a bunch of, I think I've still got some up in the shop, but I've got some red line carrying cases we can look at. I'll write that down to kind of bring some out for next week. Randy, I don't know what floor or anything until I get there. They usually, whenever you check in, they'll assign your room or whatever. So I really don't know. Lee says, yeah, YouTube will monetize you without knowing. No, I know it's monetized. I just didn't know that they would throw the commercials in the live. I know they put commercials in the shows, but a lot of y'all said they put them there in the live, and I didn't realize that. Sorry about that, Lee. I didn't mean to act like I didn't know they didn't put the commercials in. I just didn't know they did on the lives. So I'm sorry, I'm out from the left field. But yeah, Randy, just let me know if you happen to head up that way or whatever. If not, that's fine. I'm hoping to hit the Hot Wheel show in Nashville or in Antioch, whatever, and I'm thinking about doing the toy show also whenever that's coming around again, because I had a good time at the toy show and I've got quite a bit of toys I need to probably sell too. So yeah, Randy, it's an expensive venture to do the conventions, but it's fun time. I don't I don't have a ticket this year. It's the first time in 22 years that I don't have a ticket because they went on sale online and I just couldn't get them either day. They were already gone. So it is what it is. But I'll be there, and you know if I need something, I'll holler at somebody that's there. I'll have to ask my wife the exact dates. She probably can put them on there. Oh, I don't know when Antioch is next. There again, I'll have to ask my wife. She'll probably put it in there. I know it's not in the next couple of weeks because said this week is the Rod Run and Dixie sign show, gas and oil, and then they got the Nationals in 2 weeks. So I'll be get my wife to ask. I'll ask her and we'll get the dates or whatever. If y'all got any good shows that y'all go to that I don't go to, let me know. I mean, I'd like to try to go to some. Somebody said, Randy asked if it's in May. I'm not 100% sure, Randy. I'll ask my wife for sure, and I'll try to remind her to put it. I'll put it like under the show or something, um, on the next show, and then we'll talk about it on the next live on the show also, so we can get the dates. My wife's on here saying what dates. He's asking about the Antioch Hot Wheel show and the toy show, I believe, or at least the Hot Wheel show. And I'm not 100% sure. Like I said, my wife, she takes care of all the dates and stuff, and I just kind of go with the flow. But anyway, uh, she'll put the dates on here if she can find it. If not, we'll get them together before the next show. I'm always looking for some shows to go that I don't go to all the time. And I've been trying to I've got to get back down to Florida. They've got a real nice show down there. So, and then I go to the one in, I try to go to the one in Knoxville, try to go to the one in Alabama, that kind of thing. My wife said the Mid Tennessee Toy Show's next on May 3rd. Lee, I appreciate it, buddy. I'm about to wrap it up here too. I appreciate everybody coming out and join in the chat. If there's anything else y'all want to know more about or see more of, just put it here or put it in the bottom of the next video. It comes out Thursday, or yeah, I've got an Instagram if y'all want to reach out to Instagram, and I've got an email that's listed on there too. It's 01luxgarage at Gmail, I think. But May 3rd for Antioch. Mid-Tennessee Diecast is June 7th. So June 7th on there. So anyway, my wife's putting the dates in. Sorry that I don't have the dates and stuff ready. My wife, she takes care of all that. She's going to give me a calendar so I can have it here. So when y'all ask those questions, I can kind of give you the answers and stuff. So, but anyway, I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up here, I guess. I appreciate everybody coming back and seeing me. And I'll have the video out hopefully Thursday, and then we'll see y'all again hopefully next Tuesday. And if there's anything else y'all want to talk about, just put it in the chat. So anyway, y'all have a great night and a great week, and hopefully y'all find stuff y'all looking for your collection. Appreciate it. Y'all have a good one.